Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. I'm Steve David and I'm your host. Today I talk with the boys from QRC. You guys remember this song, Boomalaka Boomalaka, who are we? We are the boys from QRC.
No, Fatima, no, not a goal.
Right. So I want to, let me take time to introduce them, and then we would hear all about the good old days with these past students at QRC. First, Vernon Sadafel.
Yes,
welcome to the set, Vernon.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me here, Steve.
Tell the viewers who Vernon is.
Well, I went to QRC from 60 to 66. I played first-class football from 62, 63, 64, and 65. Right, 65.
We're glad to have you, bud.
Yeah.
And then I have Roger Matthew. Roger, welcome to the set, and tell the viewers who Roger.
Thanks very much, Steve. In that my playing days really stemmed from 65 to 68, really. In that I started off there centre back and then moved a bit into midfield, but mainly centre back. Enjoyed it immensely.
Glad to have you, bud. A long time I haven't seen you. And my other great buddy who played on the national team with me, Michael Grayson. Michael, welcome to the set.
Nice to be here, Steve. Thank you very much. I am Michael Grayson. I entered QRC in 1967, but didn't make that fantastic team until 1970, 1973. Those were my playing days at QRC, 1970 to 1973.
Great. We're glad to have you guys. I mean, I'm excited because, you know, it was fun back in the day. And I want you guys to let the viewers know how much fun you had. And some of the ups and downs are good and bad. And just let's have some fun and have this like an open barbershop discussion on what we went through over the time. So who wants to...
I will go first, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, the College League started in 64. It was experimental. Marcel Matthews, Clive Panted, Horace Springer, and Father Jerry Panted from Fatima started in 64. So we started the league, the 6 colleges, QRC, St. Mary's and Fatima, and St. Mary's, Presentation, and Naparima. But Naparima, they were always struggling, right, at this art. Right now, what happened to QRC is that from 63, we lost about 5 good players. So people were wondering what is going on in 64. Garrido, Holly Carrington, Ray Raymond, about 5 good players. But what happened, Steve, we had a good feeder program. We had 3 gentlemen, Lenny Curtin, Jervis Annis, and Rex Dios. So we always had a good feeder program. So we never missed a beat. And what Lenny used to do is do blackboard work. So you not only know in your position, you know the position of everybody, the WM formation, everything, right? So from 64, Garnet Nassib was the captain, and I thought was a very, very good player. The other player who I thought was very good was Ray Raymond from the 63 team. But they didn't go on after they left school, they didn't play too much, you know. And the other player, well, I know Roger will talk about it, Ellis, my younger brother. He was coming in 64, 65, and then 66 was his best year. But I'll tell you something, in 64, we played, for our first game was St. Benedict's on our ground. And in 5 minutes, Archie scored 2. Selwyn, and then we beat St. Benedict's 3-2 in the second half. But it was Dilly, we were now seeing Dilly and Bede, Wiles, and a tall guy, Peter Bernard. Right. Peter Bernard and Adrian played, and Dicky. Now, Dicky played in 65.
Right. So, Roger, you came in 65. 65. And tell us a little bit about your period.
It was fortuitous for me, really, coming in 65, because unfortunately, the skipper at the time, Danley Gittins, he got injured, and I was just there on the brink and was included in the team. So that was a wonderful experience, majestic almost, coming into such a team in 65. And it was just unbelievable then. Unfortunately, however, we lost to Fatima that year. Right after leading right up to the end almost, and then Mr. Weeks got 2 headers in, went into extra time, drew 3-all, went into replay, and we lost, unfortunately, having such a powerful team in 65. it was undoubtedly an experience and a really, really eye-opener for me just coming into that team then, because in 65 I would have just been over 16 years old then, being able to play A-Coles, second 11, and being able to make the first test team, it was just simply a dream come true to me.
But you was a big kid, man.
It worked out that way.
Steve, he was a cold.
It just worked out that way because my size helped propel me into the.
And you played stopper, right?
Yes, I played stopper throughout. Right.
Let me hear what Michael. When you came in, and how did it go with you?
I came in 1967, but I'll tell you the story how I reached QRC in 1967. In 1966. Well, my family always in sport and so on. So I remember my sister taking me to a game in the Oval. It was Fatima playing QRC. All right? And this gentleman's brother there, Ellis Sadafal, was on the field, and that Fatima team had Gali Cummins on the side. And the goalkeeper of Fatima was a fellow called Glenn Seeley. And I remember sometime in the game, Ellis Sadafal, well, his brother corrected me and said it was his left foot shot. I was thinking it was right foot. But it was about just over the half line. And strung up Glenn Seeley. And I'm sitting down in the, I think it might have been the schoolboys' mound there. And I say, see me, I going QRC the next year. That was it.
The end of the game.
That me come an entrance the next year in QRC 1967. And so I was there, and you know, in first one, you're seeing all these greats, Roger and all of them. You're waiting for them to come to school in the morning. Roger used to ride a bicycle. And you're just waiting for them to come into school and so on. And in those days, you're trying to make under 14, which I didn't make under 14 in first form. QRC had real talent, real talent. I didn't make until second form and so on. It wasn't until fourth form I made the first team there and so on. So, you know, these guys was a real tremendous experience. Rolf Clark, Roger, Scraps, all these guys, just looking at them coming to school. Not even playing yet, you know. Right. Looking at them coming to school, that was tremendous.
So Vernon.
Yes, Steve.
Give me some of the top players in your period.
Well, the top players from the other teams, St. Mary's, without a doubt, Wayne Smart at stopper. Every selector on the college's team always pick Wayne Smart. And of course, Richard D'Souza, deceased, was a very good trapper the ball, very good midfielder. He didn't make the league team because it had Bill Wells and Dilly and they, right? On the sympathetic side was Archie, Dilly, of course, and Bede, I find, was such a good player, right? And on the Fatima team, Gali was poison. Gali was really, really a handful. You know, and he really, I found them to be really outstanding. Now, presentation, well, Naprima was always struggling. Terry Ali in goal, he got a lot of goals. He got a work-wide dilemma. The amount of goals he got a work-wide dilemma, right? But St. Benedict's had Monty Bazzi and Tony Rez.
No, you mean presentation?
Presentation, sorry, They used to play very good. And a Chinese guy by the name of Makwan, I think.
Right.
Yeah, he played well too. Always give you a good fight.
But you talk about everybody else but QRC. Who was your top players?
We had Roger came in and Garnet Harris, Ellis, of course, and Garnet Nassib in 1964. Garnet was excellent, I find. You know, the Harris brothers, Garnet and Ian and Tony Martin. And of course, the goalkeeper, Brendan Bain. Brendan was it.
And Roger, who was the top players during your period?
Well, I had a wonderful experience in that I started off with Brian Bain.
Brian was goalkeeper?
Brian was a goalkeeper as well, right?
Brendan's brother.
And I was quite impressed and always looked at guys like Jimmy Springer, right, who I found was excellent.
Jimmy Springer went QRC?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Jimmy was solid at wing back there. Yeah. And one of the best readers of the game, Steve, that I have played with is Rolf Clark.
Rolf?
Yes. Yeah. I rate Rolf among one of the top college league players of all time. He was. Right? Yes. And in addition to that, of course, you had Sheldon Gomes there. And I would have played as well with Garnet Harris, Mervyn Pantin, Ellis, and these guys as well. Ian Jeffers, who would have captained the team in 66, 67. Because we actually won Intercol in 66 and 67. And while we won the league in 68, we lost Intercol to St. Mary's, unfortunately. This is when they would have had Ken Butcher, Ian Bain, Alvin Henderson, and that crowd in 68. And it's unfortunate. We lost Intercol. We played them on the following Wednesday and we won. And in that year as well, it was the only team to beat St. Benedict's in the hole, as we call it.
Yeah.
Right? And in La Romaine.
Who scored?
Okay, Selby scored some. He wouldn't leave that one from a corner, actually.
Yeah, but you guys were in 67 Intercol final against St. Benedict's.
Yes, we were.
You lose that game, right?
Well, we lost on the field, but would have won in the protest room, unfortunately, because one of the players was slightly above our ages. So.
No, in 67 I'm talking about?
In 67.
No, not in 67.
Yeah, we played the Intercol National Final against St. Benedict's in the Oval.
Right.
Right, and we
who
lost
was the wage in that year?
Archie, unfortunately.
No, Archie wasn't around.
Well, this was claimed.
Archie was a professional.
No, not in 67.
67, Archie was a professional.
No, in that Archie played in 67. Yeah, well, we could always debate that, but...
No. 67, you guys lose to Tony Douglas, Leo Brewster.
You sure that in 68?
67. Archie went 64, 65, 66, and he turned pro with Galley and all of them.
Yeah.
So even 67, Galley would have been there.
In that 67,
67 was...
in that Ronald Murray would have marked Archie.
67?
Yeah, and I would have close marked DeLeon.
In 67?
67. All right.
All right.
Yeah, check
we need to double check.
Gracie, you were there in 67? You remember that?
No.
You remember that?
Because Archie got away from Ronald Murray once for the entire game and scored. Rabatali scored for us first.
Patrick Rabatali.
What was the score?
2-1 St. Benedict's at the end of the game. Bunked scored a scrimmage. The ball was a heavy ground. Right? And someone had a shot to goal. The ball stuck in the mud there, and both Jimmy Springer and Wilfred ended up in the goal.
Where was that game played?
At the Oval.
In the Oval?
At the Oval.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It would be interesting to double check that, but I'm pretty sure.
But Steve Galley last in the call was 66, you know?
Yeah.
66.
But that's what I'm saying. I was saying Archie and they went and played professional soccer.
Yeah.
And Jan and all that. Grayson, you played this Intercol in what? Was Intercol?
1970, 71, 72, 73.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have come on to the team 1970. The captain at that time was a guy called Ronnie Navarro.
Right.
I remember that first game we played, that's a league. That was at QRC ground against the Belmont team. A Belmont team with Wayne Lewis, Ron Laforey, Len Laforey, the younger Trujillo, not Gregory, the younger Trujillo, and so real stars of the team.
Belmont.
Yes,
Belmont,
and we won that game 4-3. And, you know, that set the thing there because, like, Wayne Lewis and then went mad after that. Anyhow, some of the players on my team, at that time, fellas like Emery Teixeira, Russell Teixeira's brother, David Barrow, Ian Thompson, okay, Tyson, there's a Tyson, I can't remember his first name, he played that year. And but it ended up being a tough year. I remember in the North semi-final, a game we played Belmont in the Oval, and we lost that really heavy ground. And we lost that, we drew that game. As I say, I was giving Laddie's story here in that in those days, we had a lot of individual coaching from a guy called Juve Hannes. Would come in Saturday and Sunday morning. Joel the Polydor, that's another name that's famous, myself, David Barrow. And I remember in that game there, Belmont leading 1-0. I mean, they were really doing it to us. What was saving us was the ground. Ronald would be hitting the ball and so on, pass the keeper, and it would stick in the water in the mud. Right. And we'd be saved until about 5 minutes to go. And as I said, that's the importance. I was telling Sam there, the importance of all this individual training sometimes that you do. And David Barrow picks up the ball on the left side, something like you used to do and so on, and just fly down. And that was my cue as striker to start heading into the box.
Right. Because
that's something we used to practice regularly, pounding into their heads. And the Belmont chorus is going, give me a B, give me a E, give me a L. And when they reach, David crosses the ball. And it stick right where I know that ball going and stick.
Right.
And I scored a goal 150 times already in various practices.
Right.
And, you know, I just went through the motion and I say, wow, look at this. You know, but after that in the replay, they beat us 4-1. So, well, see what? You know, but we had some good after that. We had captains like Ferdinand Joseph. Ferdinand Joseph, David Barrows, they made the college league team that went to Bermuda. That year I was injured, but they made a team that went to Bermuda. And I saw this guy recently from Benedict's Technical, Larry Belfont. And he was reminding me of that trip they made there. And, you know, and after that we had Peter Decote too, and so on. So we reached the North final in 1973 or 72, something like that. Guy Beckles, the goalkeeper, Ian McIntyre scored on us. Tranquility beat us 1-0. And, you know, I think they went on to the national final or something like that.
Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we pick up where we left off.
Okay.
Viewers will be right back after the short break.
Looking for a safe place for the whole family? Well, now you found it. We are ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station. Whether it's current affairs, kids and classic TV, sport and community features, Christian and music programming, plus so much more, ACTN is the station for you. Join us each day for programming that puts morals, values, and family first. We are ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station.
You're now changing your question.
What I would say, Steve, is this.
My first question was, and roll back that tape.
I made my debut for Crystal Palace against Tottenham Hotspur.
My responsibility was to get the ball and make things happen offensively.
You
know, all the time we've played together, I've always been the decoy.
Welcome to Field of Dreams on ACTN. My name is Steve David, and I'm your host. Okay, welcome back, viewers. Guys, so let's talk about some of the fun memories you had during your period, whether it's with your teammates, whether it's with the league team, because they used to have colleges football league,
Yes.
whatever, intercol, whatever. Let's talk about some of those fun days you remember.
Well, Steve, up to today, I am very, very close to my teammates of all those years. And there's always, when we meet up, there's always fun and laughter. We went on tour to Barbados. We talk about all these things, and it really, sport is really, really a real unifier, you know, but no race barrier, nothing at all, you know. And some of my best friends are the people who I spend time with on the field. And we spend a lot of time off the field, I mean, too. Always a good understanding.
As you say, race barrier, you guys were like, there were very few Indian players, footballers, like yourself, Ellis.
Yes, Steve, when we went in school, I went in 6 and 61. Yeah. Well, I went to the cricket season. So after the cricket season in January, to think, they say, well, boy, well, Indian can't play football. Right. And when the footballers are, they say, but Jesus Lord, this is unbelievable. And then Ellis come the next year and kicking the ball outside, they say, but this is trouble. You know. This is trouble here, you know what I mean? So right away they decide this race thing was out of the window, man. Out of the window. Right. Like, of course, like Bobby Sukram, yeah. Right. Bobby, you know, could play both football and cricket, you know, so that was it, man. Roger here, he's my friend for years, since 64, 65, you know, so
what about you, Roger?
Steve, what I found in that the passion which lived at QRC was literally unexplainable. There was that love, there was that togetherness, there was that will for QRC of itself. QRC meant something. At that time, we knew nothing about bragging rights. We just knew about playing hard, playing to win. Right. The team was there, the togetherness. I can remember on one occasion, living out in Maraval there, I used to cycle to the games, and heavy rain, I couldn't cycle. They were able to send a vehicle to collect me. I had to stop and leave my bicycle in the police station. They came and collected me there. And it was no big thing for anyone. Right. You know, and that togetherness there, I'm not seeing that now.
Right.
Okay, and that I think is sadly lacking because, as Sam was saying, as a result of that, we still have that bond.
Yeah,
Right.
all the time.
Right, that takes us through. The other thing that really impressed me going through the paces at that time was being able to interact with other students from different colleges at the presentation functions. Because up to now, I could still remember Bidwell's talking to me and giving me 1 or 2 pointers, even though he was St. Benedict's as Queen's Royal. And you see, okay, fine, you could look at this and you could do this. And that, again, I'm not so sure if that happens now. Right? Even though we played against each other, he was quite prepared to lend his experience, share with me. And these are the important things, I think, that really propels one forward and makes a human being give you that grounding that you're really looking for.
Right.
And as well, later on getting into the college's team as well, that also helped because you were playing against SFA, PUSFL, SFL, and whoever else. That stepping stone was much easier to bridge at that stage than it is now. And I think that was great in those days. If anything like that can be reintroduced, I think it can only help our football to go forward.
Right. And what were you, Michael?
Well, as Roger and Sam, they were talking there, Roger's era would be closer to mine, and it was always, we have to try and keep that standard. See what those fellas and them do before the Rolf Clark and the Sheldon Gomes and them, but we had to try and keep, whether we have the players of that caliber or not, we had to try and keep it. And in playing against the other teams, the CIC, the Fatima, the Prez, the Naparima, those teams, the Benedicts, in those days, I do have nice memories of Skinner Park, you know. Even coaching after that. it was easy in Skinner Park. You're coming down there, and you know, boy, Naparima had this big strong Gerard Green. Yeah, Homer, on my time. Robbie Francis. Them fellas and them easy. When they come up in your ground and so on, well then you could do a thing, but dog they easy. Kwanchan and them in Benedict and so on. And you're saying, wow. And but you're taking the challenge up. You're taking the challenge up because you say, them fellas ain't coming out, do you? I remember when the technical team got into the league with all the others, Leroy, Peter Mitchell, Alwyn Bernard, all these fellas. Them fellas huge, like how he was huge to us.
Right.
Them fellas huge, and you say, what? But you ain't giving up, you know. You're going at them. And years after what happened, reunions and so on and so on, then I began to realize how those fellas respected me.
Right.
Because they say, boy, this red man here, this speedy and so on.
Right.
So it was a challenge, and it's so lovely now when you go to reunions and so on and so on. I'll give you a joke here about this boy from Technical. I think he came from President Technical, Richard Sutherland. Yeah. Could dribble, could beat, and there was a joke at the time, there was my boy Peter Dicoto. So the boss or van, whatever, they used to come up into QRC ground there. And Peter Dicoto is playing the left back. Sutherland used to play right wing for Technical.
Right.
And the van comes in late there, gonna park there, and we now coming down to warm up. And Peter slips on the little pavilion we have there. And we start laughing. You say, boy, you get beat already? Because, that kind of thing. So it was, and you're still, as I say, when I see those guys now there, it's really nice because you have that camaraderie and so on. And Roger is correct. I don't know, because as you know, I coach in the secondary school league now. I don't know at times if you get that same kind of thing out of the guys in the schools now. They have their mindset on something further along the road,
Let me give you a secret that you guys don't know. St. Benedict's always thought QRC were the North Brothers.
Is that
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
In all the colleges in the North, QRC is the one you guys they gravitated to the most. And they like.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that.
Adrian Chandler.
Yeah.
Adrian Chandler is my friend.
Right.
When we make Bidwells and these fellas here, they are my friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite true. Quite true.
They figured they were QRC was St. Benedict's in the North.
In the North.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's how they look at it. And so they always thought you were the brothers. Selby Brown, what year did Selby play? And
Selby would have been 67, 68.
68?
More 68.
And then they had Gomes.
Sheldon Gomes, similar period.
Same time?
Yeah.
Same period.
Yeah.
But there was nothing like Ellis Sadafel, man. He was a little little thing.
Ellis was deadly.
Yeah, he was like you, Steve. No, you see, I don't think he fulfilled his promise, you know, because he was, every level he played at, he could go another step.
Right.
Like you, Steve, I see you play for Police, play for Caroni, you could always go another. These are these type of, he's this kind of sportsman. He could always go another level. Now, he was supposed to play in 63. So the captain was telling me he wanted to pick Ellis. I said, why didn't you pick him? In the Oval, he would have scored because he liked the crowd. He liked that. He's like that, you know. So he could always, any level he goes at, cricket too, he could go another level.
Right.
He could go another level. He's that type of player. Like you and Gally and Archie, same styling.
So if they were to build a statue of one player to put in QRC as like how St. Benedict's is Leroy DeLeon, he was like bigger than life as a college player. Who would that be for QRC?
That will probably need another program.
You guys have so many. That's what I'm saying. There's so many great players, right?
We'll definitely need another program to sort that out.
Yeah. Because you know, it had Victor Kamalo, it had Lincoln Phillips. You know,
Lincoln win QRC?
Yeah, he was stopper and then goalkeeper. You know, you would play stopper first and then goalkeeper. That Victor Kamalo, you know.
So tell me how many national players you guys produce between you. How many national players you guys can call out? Like you said, Lincoln Phillips, Victor Gamaldo, Ellis Sadafel.
I would have made the national team as well.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Grayson?
Yeah.
Selby didn't play national football.
No.
Sheldon Gomes?
No.
Sheldon didn't play national.
Rolf Clark did?
Well, Jimmy.
Jimmy. Oh, yeah.
Jimmy did.
Jimmy played in our time.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Roger, Colton, and some others. Brian Bain.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Brian played. He saved for, from Queen's Park. He saved for the trainer team, Brian Bain. Not in school. But there's only one player that ever played for the national team in QRC. You know, Ellis said.
That's Ellis.
Ellis is the only one. Yeah, a schoolboy. You know, as a schoolboy.
All right, let's talk about how you prepare for Intercall. Because Intercall was the big thing. And every time you hear that around October time and you hear the song.
Yeah, man.
How did you guys prepare for Intercall as a group?
Special
or the different
preparation,
years?
boy. So all of a sudden we started run up Chancellor and thing, you know. Sometimes you come around and you're more tired than anything else because it's a special kind of training.
It was special.
It's a special thing in the air, you know. And when you're hearing the tune, you know, Lord Christo blasting it every whole day, you know, you get shivers, man.
Right.
You know, and you get the feeling, man. It was really something else long time, you know.
Right. But you guys had your special chant as well, right?
Oh, yeah. We had our special chant.
You guys remember any special chant?
Well, we used to hear it. We never was in the stand.
Not the ones a year in October. That is Christo.
Oh, that's Christo, yeah.
What, like St. Benedict's had their own little chant. St. Mary's had the chant. Those guys were on the set and the chant. What was QRC chant?
Well, I think Michael could probably share that with us.
It was basically, well, we used to take the same Los Christo chant. QRC, we want. The thing is, you see when that dodo or whatever start playing before the game and so on, that just used to send you crazy. But the basic chant, QRC, we want a goal and so on. But in the 70s or whatever, early 70s, this guy is in QRC with us. He's Lutala Mosimba.
Brother Resistance.
Brother Resistance, Tuko. He was all into Calypso and so on and so on. And what they used to do, they used to take the current Calypso, right, and put their own word state to make it up, because I was telling the Roger and them I'm not a good singer or whatever it is, but the Starlift tune, Ray Holman's tune of that year, I think is the first time we brought out this tune. Do doubt it, this year we go win the trophy. That is what we just put. Arrange it we way so that we could beat everybody.
Right.
We come in to play mass. We come in to beat everybody. CIC, all you in trouble. and that kind of thing.
So you guys take their tune and put their
What's it?
we didn't have. We had our own tune and everything. So
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we used to do.
So this tune, when Johnny Pereira was in school, they say, go Johnny, go Billy, that's Billy Samuel, go Winty, that's your other brother, go QRC, hop and jot and string up the goalie. You know what I mean? This is it, you know what I mean? So when you are a little down and out on the field and you hear that, you get the vibes, man, to move on, man. To move on, you know?
But even in traveling, how you guys travel? By bus or you travel taxis when you go into a game outside?
Initially, in the traveling to the Southland, the coaches and teachers used to actually assist us in transporting in the early.
Yeah.
And then we had a transport someone provided from Tonopuna, where Uncle H lived. So we all together then in sort of
in a bus type.
It wasn't air conditioned as there is now, okay, but we were together then. But prior to that, we traveled in separate vehicles, and on the way back we must stop off somewhere in Cuba to.
Churros.
Of course.
Churros.
Everybody stop at
churros.
On the way back, that was the treat back.
Yeah,
you know,
So, I mean, Benix, we had an old bus that breaks down all over the place. But we were together, and that's how the chanting is. You're chanting going up and you're chanting coming down when we play. So we had our own chants as well.
You know, coming back a bit though, Stephen, in terms of the preparation for Intercol, at that time as well, in that everybody need to get the fix up and the rub down and make sure that all the joints are in place and everything else is working perfect for that day. And that is what I think really made the difference that, okay, fine, a normal league game or normal other game as against when you get involved in Intercol. It's not just the physical training of yourself, but the mental to put together and make it one whole unit. I think that was a critical aspect.
Let's talk about that when we get back. We need to take a break. Viewers, we'll be right back after a short break.
Looking for a safe place for the whole family? Well, now you found it. We are ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station. Whether it's current affairs, kids and classic TV, sport and community features, Christian and music programming, plus so much more, ACTN is the station for you. Join us each day for programming that puts morals, values, and family first. We are ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station.
You're now changing your question.
What I would say, Steve, is this.
My first question was, and roll back that tape.
I made my debut for Crystal Palace against Tottenham Hotspur.
My responsibility was to get the ball and make things happen offensively.
In all the time we've played together, I've always been the decoy.
Welcome to Field of Dreams on ACTN. My name is Steve David, and I'm your host. Okay, welcome back, viewers. Hey guys, you know something? What's happening today and what happened back then is so different. And I know St. Mary's. I had St. Mary's on, and they have an alumni kind of, not call it an alumni, but kind of they want to give back to the school and try to re-energize what we used to have. What is QRC doing, or tell me some of the things that's going on that, or whatever you guys feel, how you guys feel about then and now?
Well, Steve, we always had the old boys coming in, you know. Victor Camarlo, Lincoln Phillips, Juvis, and always had people. Rolf, after a time, used to come back and do all thing, you know. But I find, you know, even the passion to play for your school, I think it has waned a bit. That passion to wear the blue and blue jersey, that was a sacred long time, you know, to get that thing. And I find, I don't know how it could come back, you know, but that passion to play for your school is lacking.
How you felt putting on that blue and blue for the first time?
Oh God, Steve, I can't describe it.
Yeah, the feeling.
When I made the team, I was checking. It had 11 men. I keep checking. I keep checking to say that it's 12. When Holly Carrington tell me I playing, I checking to see if it's 12. If I was a reserve.
Yeah.
Because those days in a reserve,
Right.
I keep checking. I was like I could have gotten a heart attack checking again.
Right.
And I was just overawed, playing against Notre Dame. This is how we feel. But I don't think it is so now.
How you felt, Roger?
It was just something totally unbelievable, to be quite honest, Steve. In that I did not really expect it. As I said, I was unfortunate through Danley's injury. And that's how I came into the first team.
Right.
Because I was afraid to play the A-Course and second 11. But then again, as fate had it, I was able to. So again, I was overwhelmed at that time.
Yeah.
And the football had just moved as well from the grandstand to the oval.
Yeah.
So I never had the opportunity to play colleges football in front of the grandstand. I started off on the oval, so it was just simply unbelievable. But having had that experience with senior guys in the team, like the Tony Martins, like the Ian Jeffers, like the Pantins and Sadaffers and the Brian Knights, who was also an excellent player.
Yes, excellent.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just fitted in. It may have had something to do probably with my size, as the case may be, okay? But everything just worked out beautifully,
Did you sleep the night before your first game?
Yeah. Somehow or the other, I never had the jitters because, like you were talking about the chants just now, I never really heard it until after the game.
Yeah.
The chants, all the noise that was taking place in that just never got to me until after the game itself.
Right.
Right, and that the focus was there, and that is all my concern at that time. All right?
Michael,
My first experience,
putting on that blue.
actually sitting, being called for QRC first team was the year before I actually made the team. And it happened when, those days I'm living in town, playing second 11 and playing under 16 and so on, but not on the first team. And Uncle H, as we used to call him, Horace Springer, the games master, calls up at home because there's somebody, or maybe one or two people, who couldn't make that day. I don't know if they fell ill or whatever. The game was on QRC ground. Now, in those days, the team used to go up on the notice board. They used to put the list up on the notice board. Well, I know I'm not playing first team at all. So when I get this call now, so I say, yes, come down now, because I was right in town. Boy, I pick up my thing and so on and so on. And I reach into the dressing room pavilion. And, well, I was the last because the others were there. And Steve, I am trying to put on my shoe and my foot only going so. And I hear this thing shaking. But I didn't realize it's the chair my foot on and shaking. Because I am prepared for this. They have me down as one of the best footballers in the school, but I'm not on first year. And thank God I didn't get to play those days you had some reserves and so on, thank God. So by the next year now, I am all right because that is what I come to class, play football to make that first team. So no problem. I actually scored the first goal of that season in the thing there. And so, it was really, really something else. You look forward, you prepare yourself for it. And you tell yourself, because you used to get a lot of assistance in those days, the coaches volunteering, the old boys and so on. I think Earl Best might have been our coach then. We did so for that first game and so on. So you get in their feedback from them on how to go about this and so on. And you believe in them. And so you just go there. You just go there and perform. So that was how I got over that initial.
Yeah, what I like about QRC and what was intimidating to people coming in to play you, your feel is right in the schoolyard.
And
school school over and everybody comes out and the all the kids come around the field, man.
Very good.
That was very intimidating.
Yes.
So that was good for you.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys realize.
Good observation, Steve.
Oh yeah.
Very good observation.
Very intimidating.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And when the chant would start, of course. So because somebody somewhere would have a trumpet or a bugle or some kind of thing.
Yeah, a bugle up there.
Right.
That's it, yeah.
Yes.
So I think you guys had a coach?
Not an official coach.
Well, not in your time wasn't a coach, but
yes, and that we had wasn't paid coaches, and that the old boys, as Sam was saying, the Gervais Hannes, the Lenny
they would come around
the Rex Dewhurst, the Horace Springer, right?
Yeah.
They were our coaches actually.
Yeah.
All right, but it wasn't no professional coachery.
Paid
until
paid
came
coaches.
into play.
And you, Grayson?
Same thing, wasn't paid coaches. Like I said, you had the old best, you had Jeremy Hannes.
All volunteers.
All
So you didn't
volunteers,
have
yeah.
paid coaches. It was just
But the
fellas
important
there.
thing then,
So you
the
learned the
old
game.
boys.
Yeah, they know what to do.
All right.
Yeah.
So we were the professional team then because we had August Hooter.
Yes.
Oh, yes, August Muta, yeah.
And
Jules
then we had the
Lagado.
Brenner.
Not Lagado.
And then Lagado.
Lagado, yeah, I remember Jules
you know,
Lagado.
so
yeah.
we had always had a coach.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's why Benedict's kind of pushed
Yeah,
the
they-
standard up.
set
Oh,
it-
yeah,
and
oh, yeah,
Benedict
by
set the
far.
standard up.
And hence the reason why the guys from Benedicts were able to share with the lesser mortals, if you could use that
Yeah.
term, right? As to various tactics, as
Yeah,
to
Dean
various
and
skills.
myself, we always
Right,
talk, you know, we always,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Don Basil Matthew had the vision. Who was the father, the
Principal.
Principal.
head of your school?
Well, in those days, I would have had Ralph Laltu
Yeah,
and Jones,
yeah.
right?
Those are priests, right?
No, we had no priests.
You never had a priest?
No, no.
I thought you did have a priest.
No.
That's called, I thought all the schools had a priest.
No, I was at
That's
Walter Jones and Ralph Laltu.
Yeah.
Those were the two principals in my time.
Okay.
But they always had say in the colleges league now. They would always have say.
When you say they would have who?
After Hartwell and they would always,
You mean
you know,
in
the
the
teachers, you know,
ministry?
he would always have say in the.
But you had a blazer, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And which you wear every first Tuesday every month, right?
First day of school
First-
opening.
Or
First
first day
every
school
two.
open? What color? That was like a blue?
A navy
Yeah,
blue.
blue, a navy blue, yeah.
Okay. So and your shirt was a deep blue, light blue.
Light blue, that's correct.
But St. Mary's was blue and white.
Blue and white.
Fatima was what?
Yellow and blue.
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 So which colors you hated?
The
Which
blue
colours?
and white.
The blue and white? St. Mary's?
Yeah, the blue and white. Without a doubt.
Or those are the ones that beat you the
Now, a
most?
little bit of information here, Steve. The blue and blue in QRC,
Yeah.
light blue and dark blue. You see, many years ago, our masters or teachers was either from Oxford in dark blue and Cambridge in light blue.
Right.
So that's why blue and blue.
Right.
That's a piece of information here. So that is why Oxford or Cambridge, you know that? Used to be
Yes,
masters,
yes,
teachers in QRC. You know.
Yes.
Okay.
Right?
So, now we had that.
That's it.
Well, and your biggest rival was St. Mary's?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, because the first year Fatima actually won in the call would have been in 65.
65 at Galleon,
Yeah.
65.
Yeah.
Right.
So either you against St. Mary's is
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
that the rival.
That's
Until
right.
Gali came and changed that.
Oh, yes.
For 1 year.
Yeah, for 1 year.
For 1 year.
Right.
65. And I went back to the old ways. But Gali was really something else.
Yeah, and it was also fortuitous because as we were leading in 64, 65,
3-0.
right? And they came back to
3-0.
equalize.
Yeah, 3-0, you know.
Right.
Who was leading through Nathan?
Fatima, I was saying
QRC.
QRC 3-0.
And Fatima came back and beat
Yeah,
you?
Equalized.
Yeah, equalized, yeah.
And in replay, we lost.
We lost.
Oh, wow.
We lost the replay.
Tell us about that game.
Steve,
we would love to hear about that game.
everybody was expecting Fatima to be with Gali and thing, right? First half was 2-0, we had them 2-0. As the second half started, we had them 3-0. But we started to just play, just run around and relax. I remember I passed the ball from half line to the goalkeeper and, just relaxing, and then bam, they got a
They got
corner.
one.
Tony Wick scored with a header.
Right.
And then a little while after now, somebody scored a goal, and then coming to the end of the game, Tony Wick again with another header.
3-0.
And this is it, 3-all. And the crowd, QRC crowd went crazy. How all they could allow this? You know what I mean? Gali went in the net, I could see him now. He picked up the ball and he got and he centered the ball, man. This little short man run quick and pick up the ball and go and center the ball, man. Let me go again. Bam, goal again. Jesus, there's just pressure, boy. Right? And the crowd going wild. The crowd going wild in the stands, boy.
We lost the replay
Yeah, we lose the replay. We lost the replay.
and beat them.
We lost the replay.
Wednesday after.
Unbelievable.
But the falling, Ellis fix matters.
Electric matters his own hands.
Yeah, that goal just smashed up everything.
Well, the same team actually we played against, and we won
Old
4-1.
Four. Remember Old Four?
Old Four, yeah.
And Terry
Terry
Watson,
Watson.
Lester Newman, Frankie Marbia, Roger Dupre, Tony Weeks, Fatima had a good team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a good team.
And this boy Bourne was just coming into his own.
Martin Bourne,
was just coming into his own as
excellent
well.
player.
I remember
He came to Maple after. He was very, very good.
That Knights?
Brian Knights was
Brian Knights was our player.
top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Must score double.
Well, Fatima had a tall...
Jackson at the back. Stonewall Jackson.
Yeah.
Good stopper.
Right.
Okay.
Stonewall Jackson, they call him.
What you remember most? What's your fondest memory in each of you? Give me a fondest memory in your time that would never leave you.
My fondest memory was when we beat St. Benedict's down in Faizabad. In 62, we beat them 2-0 with Bobby Sukram. St. Benedict's run through a ball and all this kind of thing. We beat them down in Faizabad.
That's your fondest
2-0,
memory?
yeah.
Okay. What about you, Roger?
Similar, but beating St. Benedict's in the hole 2-1.
In the Gallows?
Yes, I think right.
Down in St. Benedict's ground?
Yeah, Larry.
The old mud, right?
Yes, sticky ground.
Sticky mud.
No, yes, I'll be wrong, sir. Right. And the thing about it is that somehow or the other, St. Benedict's used to get a ball that just used to fly all over the place, very light ball. Right? I don't know where this ball used to come from. Right?
The wind.
I don't know what it is, Steve, right? But the ball is light and the ball will be dancing all over in front of you, this sort of thing.
You mean down in the Gallows?
Yes.
You know what? I'll tell you what it is. Wouter was a master bending ball. And and that's all he wanted us to do, bend.
Yeah.
Bend.
Yeah.
So I guess the balls used to be
designed accordingly. Yes. You know,
yeah. So
that 2-1.
So you guys win 2-1 in the Gallows.
Yes.
What year was that?
That would have been 68.
68?
68.
Yeah.
I told you the only game we lost in 68 was against St. Mary's North Intercol final.
Right.
Right. That's the only game that team lost for the season.
Okay. What about your fun memory?
Well, I mentioned it earlier, that game in the Intercol semi-final that we drew with Belmont. Because it was like a moving set play. It was like, all right, when he gets it there, you start heading and so on. And when it come across, you just go through just technique, just hitting that ball and so on. And there it happened right there, you know. And what it was is I think what made it very nice is that it happened so late in the game. The Belmont couldn't do anything after, just wait on the replay. But it was that whole thing that set in motion and so on. And you know, as simple as it was, people wouldn't have known I scored about 50 times already in practice, 50, 100 times.
If you could have done anything different, let's say you can relive that whole college life again, what would you change if there was be anything you would change? Or would you change anything?
I would have loved to score some more goals. I didn't score any goals. I would have loved to.
But you still want to go back to QRC?
Oh, yeah.
Not even St. Benedict?
Nah.
Okay.
George.
Okay.
Right.
So you would just, the only thing you would change what? Be Ellis? You would rather be born Ellis?
No. He
scored a lot
himself.
of goals.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I assisted him too.
Right.
Right, but I wanted to...
But you wanted to score some more.
Get my name on the papers more.
I got you.
And score some more runs in cricket. That's it.
All right. What would you, Roger?
I think I should have probably taken a little more risk.
Risk?
Yes. For example, in that I recall this game we lost to St. Mary's at the Oval, in that the ball came out just on the fringe of the penalty box there. And instead of running in and just hitting it half volley, I decided to try and stop it first, and then
to be sure.
Right, yeah, to be sure.
Right.
Then, so you want to step in and make sure that you get everything right. But just that split second there, took my eyes off the ball. Ball went. I never even stopped it. Right? Yeah. Had I just run and hit it, okay, fine. Yes, it may have gone over bars, it may have gone anywhere. But at least I would have taken that risk in terms of trying to get this. And I still vividly recall that up to this day. You know, and there were probably one or two other little instances that you could have probably get involved and fire when time was right.
And you didn't wish you could have played for St. Benedict's College?
Not having had the experience with QRC and the benefit of the guys from St. Benedict's. Right? You know, all the information at the presentation functions, I think, was worthy from the Benedict's boys.
I like that.
And Michael?
I would have changed, and in hindsight, now, as I said, now that I'm into a lot of coaching years and so on, I, look back and I say, if we had a set coach in those years in QRC, we may have done things Definitely different, but and also I think better. Because, see, there were times we actually coached ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
There were times we coached ourselves in sessions and so on. Because whoever was volunteering could make that day or whatever it is and so on. And then on game time, well, we actually would pick our own teams too.
Right.
And then on game time and so on and so on, maybe somebody would be there or whatever it is and so on, and then you're getting all these different instructions and so on. So I think definitely I would have changed that part of it. And, you could have had a set coach.
Practices. Practice happen during school hours or after school hours?
After school.
After all the time?
All the time.
You never practice during school hours?
No. After school.
Unlike St. Benedict.
We see you guys would have loved to go.
After school.
Yeah.
Well,
And well, during the holiday period as well, we could have probably started training from as early as June. Right?
well, I mean, Benedict's practice after school hours as well, but a lot of time you take an hour or two, because most of the guys from Point, especially, if you had a practice after and then go to Point, it's
Yes.
And not only that is they actually live on the commons upstairs in the pavilion. You know that upstairs section.
Yes. I know the pavilion.
They would. The whole week you come in on Monday morning, you spend the whole week there, and you go home on the weekend.
Okay.
So they after school they can go and they can play all evening.
Right. Yeah.
So it was like a real
small university
atmosphere.
Right. Okay.
You know.
No, Michael mentioned something there as well, but I think throughout in that most of the teams actually went about selecting their own teams, really. In that I think that the coach's influence was minimal in terms of the team selection. And this is one of the developmental areas as well at Queen's Royal, that you had your captain, your vice captain, another member of committee, and that would have been the selection committee to select the team, really. So that was a nice developmental area that we enjoyed also.
So maybe some good players might have slipped through the cracks because it's a lot of friends. I mean, friendship has to go in with players.
Not really in that it could have also worked the other way around.
True.
In that I think as well as also the captains at the time really had some authority.
Not authority. Okay. Yes.
In terms of even coordinating practice sessions when the volunteers are not there on time, as the case may be, to get things started and stuff like that. So all these things I think would have helped in the whole development as against what I'm seeing happening now, this sort of thing.
So there was no one special chant went through this whole college for all the different years. It changed as time goes.
No, only the
but one remains.
One
remains.
Boomlaka, boomlaka.
Yes.
A boomlaka, boomlaka, ra ra ra. A boomlaka, boomlaka. A boomlaka, boomlaka. Who are we? We are the boys of QRC.
No.
So when you hear that now, you can't get tired.
No, CIC, no.
But that's the calypso.
That was,
When they blast that so for whole day, they're blasting that, Man, them convent girls going mad. They're going crazy. Them bishops girls going crazy, boy.
Good point. Every college had a girls' school that they affiliated with.
We had two. Bishops and St. Francois.
Oh, you had two?
We had two, Bishops and St. Francois.
St. Mary's had which one?
Convent.
Convent was St. Mary's?
Yeah.
Or they had the girls? Okay.
And St. Teresa's our primary school. St. Mary's always our primary school.
And Fatima.
I don't know about Fatima. I don't know about Fatima.
Well,
They're still to come.
Well, there was girls' school still in line for St. Benedict's because they all want to be.
Of course, man. Bede was a good looker, man. Bede was the ladies' one, man.
We had some fellas.
You had a lot of stars in St. Benedict's, though.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of what?
A lot of stars.
Oh, yes.
A lot of stars.
KJ.
Kenny Joseph,
How many of your guys played for national team that was in school at the time when they played for national team?
Well, there's only one in Ellis.
Ellis.
Yes, Ellis.
But I don't know what before.
Ellis was really special, man.
Yeah. Yes.
And but you had Ellis. Rolf Clark never played for national team in college?
Not in college.
No,
Not in college. Not
But he played for Colleges League.
Yes,
Yes.
of
You
course.
guys, how many? Let's talk about Colleges League. How many of those
Quite
guys?
a few, you know. Tony Martin.
I would have played for Colleges League as well.
You were there.
I don't think Jimmy
Grayson, you?
Ellis.
The
Colleges League. You ever played?
Yes,
They used to play
team-
interleague.
Interleague, yeah.
no, we didn't have interleague.
Or your time
That
they didn't have
finished,
interleague.
Yeah, we didn't have interleague at that time.
I played one or two.
Basically, in about that was the thing, north south. So I would
played
have played
north-south?
on a lot of the north
Yeah.
teams. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucloy was captain, I remember, one time for the North teams and so on. So we played North-South colleges, yeah. Actually, that used to be the ending game of the season, a North-South representative thing, yeah. So I would have been on that. And
All right, I have one more minute. Any one person that you made a difference in any of you guys' life that you want to say thank you to?
Yeah, one man is Lenny Curtin, the coach. He made a big difference in football and cricket in my life at QRC. I've always indebted to him.
I will second that as well as Ralph Laltu, the principal, as well. I thought he was also instrumental because for the intercol games, we used to get down to his little apartment there where he lived almost on the compound. Before the intercol game, he would have had some sandwiches. We'd have had a little pep talk as well. So I thought that went quite well also.
Okay.
there's a teacher guy, which probably made me more so interested in Spanish, called Claude Hoop. Claude came in maybe when I was in third form and so on. He was into track and all the different things. And he, as if he came, but he wasn't from Trinidad. I think he was originally either from Guyana or Curacao or something like that. And he was really instrumental in being around, he wasn't around the team as such, but just a person around. Yeah, Claude Hope is deceased now.
All right, good. All right, I want to thank you guys for being here, bud. I really appreciate the hour that we spent together. I appreciate you so much. Viewers, thank you for tuning in. ACTN, thank you for giving us the opportunity. We do have a Facebook page. You can check us out, and we do have an email address, fieldofunitytt@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Show is ended. Go in peace. My name is Steve David. Good night.